All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, as we draw nearer to the end of November, the degree of hardship witnessed across the country is on the increase, and not too long ago, two photographs that offer a glimpse into the hardship faced by Nigerians this season began making the rounds. The first one was this: a picture of 200 naira sachets of rice now in Nigerian markets. We know of sachets of milk, sachets of Milo, even salt or toothpaste, but sachets of rice? This kind of poverty is only expected to be seen in countries that are at war. But sadly, even war-hit Ukraine is doing far, far better than Nigeria, to the point that they gifted us grains months ago. The next picture here is a picture of Nigerians tied to luggages. These guys here were traveling from Sokoto to Lagos. That's like a journey of 16 hours. Unbelievable, isn't it? But that's what the report says. And these are some of the eyesores that have become trademarks of this Tinubu regime. Not to mention the area of insecurity. As we speak, Niger State is under siege by bandits. A new terrorist group is holding Sokoto and Kebbi states to ransom, and the Minister of Interior came on air yesterday and couldn't say a single thing that our security forces have done to improve the situation. And few hours ago, a report that sent fear into Tinubu lawmakers and in fact Nigerians at large dropped. This report was watered down. I mean, the numbers were reduced so that the national uproar would not be so much, but even the watered down version that was released sent fear all across the nation. And just as Nigerians were yet deliberating on that, a statement came out of Aso Rock, which one could call a response to that shocking report. And it was that statement from Aso Rock that completely ruined everything. You know, when you find some Nigerians who seem to be doing well, shutting down their businesses, selling all their properties and leaving Nigeria, it is because of unfortunate, disastrous utterances like this statement that came out of Aso Rock few hours ago. Before I show you details of that statement and details of that shocking report that scared everyone in the country, let me quickly show you this video. You know, when some call Nigeria a zoo or a jungle, others will come and say that they are not being patriotic, that those are unpatriotic words to use on your own country. But a jungle is a place where laws don't apply. Anywhere that is lawless is a jungle. Now look at what Wike has turned the FCT into. The laws of the FCT have now been thrown under the bus for Wike to do whatever he wants. Watch this video.
There are demolition, and the Minister of the FCT has said he will continue to demolish those shanties. There are those who are alleging that maybe he's demolishing them to give it out to his friends. And he has said that how can the government look on when illegality goes on? That these places are not meant for these shanties. And I know that in Lagos, Mr. Falana, you and some civil rights activists have fought for the right of shanty dwellers to say they have rights under the law. But in this sense, is it a matter of illegality versus illegality, or a matter of how do you describe what is going on?
If the guys in government, public officers are prepared to comply with the provisions of the Constitution and other relevant laws, who have this embarrassing situation where a man goes to work, the children are in school, bulldozers are sent to their house, and the building is brought down. No, it's primitive.
They said they gave them,
and it's alien
notices.
It's alien to the Urban and Regional Planning Act applicable in the FCT. The minister cannot, under the law, order the demolition of a house. No. If a house has breached the law, that is the physical, the Urban and Regional Planning law, a case will be taken to the Urbana Regional Board. If the owner of the property loses in that board, there is a tribunal, Urbana Regional Tribunal.
Does it apply to the FCT?
Of course, I'm talking of the FCT. If you lose there, you have the right to go to the High Court as an appellate chamber. That is the law today. It is that tribunal or the High Court that will now give an order, go and demolish the house. This is the law.
You heard that. While I disagree with Mr. Falana on some issues, the matter on ground here is very, very clear. The APC is out to completely destroy the very fabrics of this nation, and that is why we are calling on well-meaning Nigerians to vehemently reject these people for God's sake. APC has gone from bribing the judiciary to deliver judgments in their favor to delivering judgments themselves. According to urban laws, Wike cannot wake up and begin demolishing people's houses. But that is what he is doing right now in the FCT. And no matter how many lies he tells, his reason for these demolitions is to grab people's lands. He is rendering people homeless and worsening the state of insecurity in the FCT. But the locals have vowed to fight back. They have said it is only a matter of time before they will know who owns the FCT, if it is Wike or the indigenes of the FCT. So the battle line is drawn. And to be honest, I am happy with this development. Nothing gives me more joy than seeing the APC at war with the people, especially in the FCT. We must come to a point where over 98% of this country would have felt the consequences of having an evil party like the APC at the helm of affairs. If it is suffering, pain, and torture that will unite Nigerians against the APC, then let the suffering multiply. Now, let us look at those two updates that have become the major talking points in the Nigerian political media space. First, it is that report that sent fear, shocking waves all across Nigeria. And next is that statement that came out of Aso Rock. That statement completely epitomizes the disastrous situation that this country is in under the APC. Let's start by taking that heartbreaking report. Look at how the papers reported it. Over 1,500 Nigerians killed in October alone in 861 incidents of kidnapping, attacks, report. At least 1,545 persons have been killed and 971 others abducted across the country in October 2024, as reported by a security organization, the Beacon Security and Intelligence Limited, BSIL. According to the security report from BSIL, this comes amid the rise of new terror group Lakurawa in the northwest region. The October 2024 Nigeria Security Report of the organization highlights deteriorating security conditions with a 51% rise in fatalities and 24.42% increase in abductions. We just published our October report. What it says is that the situation has really deteriorated, said Dr. Kabir Adamu, BSIL CEO. If it continues at this rate, perhaps we are likely to get more fatality in Nigeria. Throughout October, 861 incidents were recorded, with 64.92% linked to security threats and 67.70% of fatalities being civilian deaths. The Northeast and Northwest saw the most incidents, while the Southeast experienced the fewest. Dr. Adamu stressed that poor socio-economic conditions, political instability, and climate change fuel insecurity. We have a very weak and ineffective security management system that has not been able to address the root causes and manifestation of insecurities in the country, he explained. The report also noted Nigeria's failure to implement its three main counter-terrorism laws effectively. Dr. Adamu emphasized the importance of these measures, which include securing borders and forming partnerships with neighboring countries, stating most Nigerians are not even aware of the existence of these documents. I'm sure that by most Nigerians, this guy was stylishly referring to even the people in power, the people that claim to be in charge. Because the Minister of Interior came on air to talk about insecurity in Nigeria. They were telling him about this new group that came up. He had nothing to say. They were telling him about how porous our borders are. He had nothing to say. And now this BSIL report is saying at least 1,545 persons were killed in October alone. We are talking about human lives here. We are not counting trees or stones. And Idara here says the APC government of Fulani has a rogue agenda to let their vagabonds from the Sahel prey on Nigerians. While they are slow to establish effective security operations in each state, army even kills vigilante groups people rely on. What a shame. And Brooks here says the criminal government will keep on fooling themselves until they wake up one day and find out that there is no place called Nigeria. Look at how they are wasting innocent souls. And Ogbu here says, and some are not even accounted for. He means that some of the deaths that took place in October are not even on record. I would say most of them are not on record. For instance, all the kidnapping cases we've seen around me here that, eventually led to them killing the victims, any of those are not on record because you don't even see any media house talking about them. Yet they are so numerous around here. And John here says Shetima will handle security. That was the nonsense they were saying during the campaign. And this tweet here says, now wow, see as blood they spill for this country. How we won't take better when all this blood they cry out for justice. That is it. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to these shameful, disastrous statements came out of Asurok. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, for the first time had an opportunity to talk about this new terrorist group, Lakurawa. And most Nigerians had their ears perked up. They had their ears open to hear what this National Security Advisor would say. This is the same man that the Minister of Interior was claiming that he doesn't sleep because of the security issues in Nigeria. But this guy mounted the podium and began praise singing. He began singing the praises of Tinubu, said nothing about security, began praising Tinubu, how he is a giant, how he cannot be surmounted in any battle. That is the security strategy that Nuhu Ribadu wants to use. Look at how the papers reported it. Nobody dares Tinubu and gets away with it. National Security Advisor Ribadu warns Lakurawa terrorists. Reporters. Nigeria's National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu has issued a stern warning to the recently emerged terror group Lakurawa operating in the Northwest region. Speaking at the opening of the Comptroller General of Customs Conference in Abuja, Ribadu vowed that the new sect would not thrive under Bola Tinubu's leadership, emphasizing that their days are numbered if they don't cease their activities. Nobody dares Bola Tinubu and gets away with it, Ribadu declared, insisting that the group's timing was a miscalculation. His statement follows the Defense Headquarters' confirmation last week of the group's activities spreading terror across the northwestern states of Sokoto and Kebbi. In a new briefing, Major General Edward Buba, Director of Defense Media Operations, described Lakurawa as worsening insecurity in the northwest. Troops are confronted with a new terrorist sect in the northwest, he said. This sect is known as Lukarawa. The Lukawara are affiliated to terrorists in Sahel, particularly from Mali and Niger Republic. The group, General Buba added, emerged from Mali and Niger Republic following recent coup that disrupted military cooperation between Niger and Nigeria. The military has since declared 9 terrorists wanted for their involvement in these escalating security threats. Now, all these are happening. All these are on ground. And when the National Security Advisor, RIBADU, had an opportunity to speak about it for the first time, all he did was to begin protecting his job. All he did was to begin singing praises. Nobody can confront Tinubu and win. Nobody. What is this about Tinubu? We are talking about a security threat on the entire Northwest region. This is the same praise singing we saw for 8 years under Buhari, and at the end of the day, the man took us backwards as a nation. Now Tinubu has come to take Nigerians several decades backwards, worse than Buhari. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Sebastian says, "Cheap talk. I am so ashamed. This is a national security issue and you are personalizing it to Tinubu. Shouldn't praise singing have a limit? Did the terrorists say they are against Tinubu? I actually expected more from you, sir. This is shameful, so shameful of Ribadu. He just proved that he is so empty upstairs." And this tweet here by Olushola Olawale says, "I used to think that this man would be a future leader of this country. Thank God he has been exposed. He is not different from the others. Tell your Oga, we are not feeling your administration. It is even worse than Buhari." And this tweet here says, Ribadu's praise singing of Tinubu as National Security Advisor is not only unprofessional, but shameful to watch. That office should be elevated above the Tinubu gains rants of Ribadu at the customs conference. That is it. This is a very serious office. The lives of the people of this country are at stake. And this man just stood there with his long neck, joking with everything. And repost here says, "Not even nobody dares Nigeria as a nation and gets away with it." What a foolish man. A very foolish man indeed. He's supposed to be saying something like, you can't dare Nigeria as a nation and get away with it. But you are talking about Tinubu. So he supersedes everybody in this country, or what? And this tweet here says, "Since the emergence of the APC, it became very obvious that they are always against the people. Their statements are either provocative, offensive, or defensive, as if we are always in conflict with them." That is it. And it is because they know what they are doing to the people. They know that they are killing, stealing, and destroying the people. That is why anytime they come out, when you are at war with somebody in your heart, it will be very difficult for you to act peaceful before the person. That is what we are saying here. Every time, offensive against the people you claim you are leading. That is what the APC is in this country. And as I always say, propaganda will not lead this country. Propaganda will not provide leadership. And on this issue of insecurity, propaganda will not fight Lakurawa terrorist group. Ribadu has gone there to run his mouth to say whatever he wants to say. I can assure you that before tomorrow evening, those guys would have launched another terrible attack and it will be in the news. You can be saying everything you are saying on the pages of newspaper, and when you go for meetings, you can be saying that we have destroyed them, we have done this. Just be lying to yourself. You can't dare Tinubu, you can't do this. Keep on talking. They will be acting in the Northwest. People are paying them taxes. They are collecting zakat. Farmers need to pay them to go to their farms. It has been happening for years now, and the military has not been able to do anything. Cattle rustling, collecting people's cows anyhow. Even the Fulani headsmen that we claim are terrorists, they have bowed to these Lakurawas, Abina Lukarawa that they call them. So let them keep playing politics with it until it will eat everywhere up. You saw what happened in Niger State. They took over, bandits took over the biggest training camp, the biggest military training camp in Nigeria is located in Niger State. They took it over. We are still fighting to take it back. And that is mostly because of the number of soldiers there. They are not enough. They have shipped soldiers to the southeast to be chasing shadows there. I don't just understand what is wrong with the APC. I can't just place my hands on what this country has done to the APC that they want to completely destroy this country. To what end, I cannot say. But this is exactly what they are doing. Can you name just one sector that is working under the APC? Just one. They have destroyed the educational sector. Security is in shambles, widespread insecurity. The economy has all but collapsed. So tell me one thing that these guys are doing. Well, look at the exchange rates. But I'm not surprised. This is the APC. They have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that is why we keep urging Nigerians to unite, to come together, cast their sentiments aside, because it is only when we do that that we can take our country back. And if we don't, this country will keep sinking and sinking and sinking until in no time we will have no place to call home. Therefore, Nigerians must cast sentiments aside to unite and take their country back. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news. Wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.